Hi everyone, welcome back to the Angel Scrolls and God's Sentinels of the Future. Today I'm going to be reviewing the quantum version of Danny's Dream Budgie Part 2. Some of you may have seen the older version in the forum and know how different it was then. I have to tell you that when some of the transcriptions change a lot, in the beginning it confused me, because even though it was a live connection, I thought that once I transcribed it, it should remain the same, or at least similar to the previous versions. I actually had to go back to my indoctrination, which was where I began to do the dream transcriptions, to find out what was happening. Much of what the angels taught me there was an important part of my training. It helped me to understand what I would encounter in the future. I may have mentioned this once or twice before, but in this presentation I'll try and explain it a little better, because I've found out since that it's not just my translation abilities that have improved that make the transcriptions better. There are other reasons as well. These reasons relate to the way wave files interact in the quantum world. In the indoctrination of this religion, I was taught that having a connection to God and the angels is like riding a wave on a boat or ship on a river. In the spiritual world, there are multiple ways for a soul to reach heaven, and finding the right route can get you there faster. It's like being on a long river with multiple lives, and there are many tributaries on the river that often fork off. While your soul is on the vessel, you need to rejoin the main river of spirituality, which brings you to the heavenly destination. Unfortunately, sometimes the path or river that leads to heaven gets obstructed, or there are obstacles we have to overcome before we can have more spiritual evolution. Therefore, we have to take one of the other rivers, or even a tributary, until we get a chance to join up with the right one later. We may also find that one of the rivers or tributaries end, and the soul may have to backtrack to get on the right one. Sometimes our vessel may need to stop and rest for a while, so we can experience something that will set it on the right path again later. In relationship to the quantum world, sound files have many different paths, with waves intertwining with them. The easiest way to explain it may be like the different instruments in music, and how a quadraphonic stereo system can send various instruments to a different speaker or location. These instrument paths are like many different types of rivers that one may need to take during their journey. Some of them are the river of religion, river of spirituality, and river of life, which we try and keep on most of the time, as they are the most important ones. There's also the river of reasoning and the river of confusion. Once our soul is on the river of confusion, we do not want to be on it too long, or our ship can sink, and we may have to get another one or start all over. So depending on the lessons that the angels want either myself or others to have at a certain time and space, which is God's timing, they may connect to me in one of the other rivers. We often have no choice when it comes to the river of life, because it is something we need to sustain our physical body, and it takes our soul to places and situations where it learns to spiritually evolve. However, once we have learned the lesson that we can evolve more, then our souls can get back onto the main river again until it comes to another point where it meets a blockage and has to journey through a different path again. So I think I'll leave it at that for now, but there's still much more. Now I want to talk a little bit about this next transcription. In it, Danny answers a few more questions. Keep in mind that some of these answers may only be understood by those that have asked the questions. Sometimes Danny will ask the question first and answer it, or ask the question and not answer it at all. Perhaps the angels decide which questions they can and cannot answer at that particular time, and let us know that at least they received it. Danny also begins talking about the benefits that children can have from this religion as well. So this is what Danny says in the forward part of this transcription. In part 1 it ended with, to create this passion in one's heart that will give a quality team a vision with your mentor. And then the reverse begins, will complete the questions. Only Ryan commenting can explain them fully. Are we really spirits offering a need to envision it? If we do a conference, we'll view the angel's plea to help us now. The cause is good, we know, and you have to begin to do it. We need radio to say we don't invent falsehoods. We have no objections to lectures that we have visualized. You'll need to watch and believe in what we do and join us. There will be many who are not going to our party as our friend and coming to rebuke us. They eventually announce the lessons are not something they really can agree on. If you choose, you still can be here, but it's unfair to get involved with the teacher carrying this message. Come on, John, wake up. Spiritually, haven't you learned that Ryan's avoiding what's basically contention, as it's a pleasant form? We don't lie to make him more believing in anything we taught him in his priesthood. The cause is good when a deity speaks of religion, and prophecies should give you pleasure. You must speak to your panel as we are involving you. You can really hear we are doing here, which is good. But here, sexual comments can only invoke a haggle. Or would you prefer that total control that stops what you're going to be drinking? Eventually, he'll be with other people he forgave. Some of the stories will supply spiritual enchantments, but it gets to a point where you mend a broken heart. Often, the variable will be the period of religion that led them to believe the truth. We believe that most of you have passed through some of the evil too. A marriage is something needed and a witness to human spirit. Where do you have to be led to? We respond in speaking in a straight line and congregate with angels. And that's what's postponed when he tries to intervene, exposing a big problem. There are subjects we have with our work you need to enjoy. Why do you need help with them? I believe he's talking about children. In heaven, Jesus warned us, what's destroying the young will prevent respect or need to work with their God. Here, for God, many children will never give up when they hear the call to learn, and they will get to really ask God every question. They are happy if we can be as cute as a bird. They can't fear God helping a bird talk. For all time, budgies have, and it'll continue on in the reverse. Still talking? Okay, Danny, I know you could probably go on for another half hour or so, or in the next part, Danny talks about how parents and children can benefit from a religion such as this. In the last part, Danny also said that I need to comment on some of these things to explain them fully. The first question Danny mentioned was, are we really spirits offering a need to envision it? Then he begins to talk about children. So I believe he talks about this need that our children have for something like this religion, and that's why God has chosen the internet to use as a tool to help children in religion. How many children these days are interested enough in religion to join religious groups and learn about God and the angels? One thing for sure is there could be a lot more. Right now, their interest is in crazy videos that people make to attract children, and most do not have any spiritual aspects to them at all. They can spend hours a day watching these videos, which mostly teach them how older people can act half their age and criticize everything that they come in contact with. Then there are the video games. Some are better than others, but they can also become addictive, and some children do not spend time communicating and doing things with their families as much as they should be. On top of that, they are consistently subjected to news that talks about global warming and how we are quickly destroying our planet. This does not leave them much hope for our future, and they often withdraw into a fantasy world. There are children living in poverty that are undernourished and have parents that are on drugs or in jail. Then there are the ones that have their basic needs met, yet they have to worry about mass shootings at school or even church if they ever did go. Then there are the ones from upper-class families who believe everything should be given to them on a silver platter without any need for work. All classes possess a definite lack of respect for elders and parents that did not exist 100 years ago. All of these things and many more lead to a basic distrust in God, and they often feel powerless and angry with their lives. God knows something has to be done to help our children grow up believing that there is a higher power at work, and how each of them can make a difference in bringing a better future. They need encouragement and love, with a better understanding of how life and spirituality impact their soul. They need to know that it's okay to make mistakes, and sin is a natural thing for humans, and that God and the angels do not give up on us if we do sin. They need to know compassion and believe in something greater than themselves. They need proof that God and the angels do exist, and God does have a plan for humanity's future, as well as their soul. So this is the reverse part. At the end of the foreword, Danny said, "For all time, budgies have," and then we start with the reverse, "a fine mission. We are honored that we have dreams from angels. They will see that life is a spiritual treasure while hearing our song to offer union and a miracle. And with God's timing, the challenge is to honor philosophy that offers change. The lessons with the videos shows them this is a project related to how our journey helps free parents to allow a use of actions that makes it possible to help when you will have some members come to this forum. This prophecy is a dream of lots of people who need to accept the Lord's truth. They'll carry the lessons that they have here to so many. Confusion of someone will enable it to be worked out. The examples that we're providing recently will have some answers, and they will do you a favor. When you see them in the forum, they'll show respect. They'll agree that there's miracles that are happening in front of them. They'll proceed with caution to announce about your miracle. God sees these children, and this union brings an age of embracing a religion shown to you. They'll have most of these sermons with angels talking and miracles happening. They'll believe that it's time to have real use of this intervention from heaven. They'll know this proof is serious. That's why we have used a panel of divine vision and hope that interacts when they're home. They'll find that God has policies that rely on habits of devotion to help them. They'll give you lots of help in synergy to fulfill their dream of real miracles. They'll find each answer we gave Ryan as religious evidence and how he's getting help from spiritual actions by angels. Through their dreams that will come, they will know it's evil. Eventually, they'll know even God is very impressed and sorry the world's waited so long for the miracle of this religion. They'll be reciting some fine spiritual lessons that will begin to change their life. Devotion from good people can free us in this here forum to help reverse evil in a religion from heaven. They will have questions that will be part of the lessons here. We shall have a time to offer some of what they've done to avoid evil. Being a parent myself, I know it's probably too early to get my 10-year-old to listen to these lessons, but I think that at 12 or 13 she can learn much from them. As a parent, I envision this religion as something good that they can go to on the internet and watch. without my wife and I having to worry about what she is doing. I envision it as something that entrusts good values within their soul, allowing them to believe and trust in God and the angels more. It is something that offers hope and encouragement for a future where we can rely on God and the angels to help us through difficult situations during future tribulations. I see it as a stepping stone for their spiritual evolution in an ever-changing and chaotic world, giving them the proof they need to not just believe but know there's a special place we can go after we die, and know that our soul moves on from this body when it does. Finally, is a place where they can learn the truth about God and His reasoning, and reverse the confusion in their soul that prevents them from attaining their full potential. This completes this presentation. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to join us, you can come to theangelscrolls.com and click onto the forum link at the top, where we will be adding the newest presentations. Bye for now.